Hello everyone, welcome back to my another video of Shogi Strategy. Today I'm gonna talk about King's Head Vanguard Pawn. This is pretty old and I'm not really sure if you still come across this these days, but how you encounter this strategy is very useful, so it's worth it. And let's go. Like I said multiple times before, both players start off with the usual positions, pretending nothing special is happening, and then both players slowly introduce their plan to one another. And right here, it looks like Black is going for a slow game and saving one more push on the second file, right? And there is a reason, because it usually takes more time than rapid attack, for example, to castle. So Black can push this pawn anytime he wants, so it's reasonable to save this pawn push and invest more for castling. And then he advances 7th pawn to create thickness on the left side. And this movement is natural, and he develops the left silver. And this is the turning point for white. If white advances the left silver like this, it's kind of hasty, because then he can push the pawn on the second file, and bishop develops and silver develops. And now Black opens up this diagonal, right? So it's kind of hard for white to figure out when the right time to open up this diagonal as well, because once bishop exchange happens, Black is going to be better, because now white will have to defend the second file after this bishop is gone. So it's not actually a favorable position for white. So white wants to avoid this variation. So instead of this silver develop, this pawn push seems to be a better option, because at this position, Black cannot exchange bishop because it's clogged, right? And if Black develops this silver, then you can develop yours too. And what if Black pushes this pawn? You might want to develop pawn on the central file, and then Black can take over this 6th file after this pawn push, like this. In this position, it's hard for white to take over this 6th file, because now it's guarded by this pawn. So it's pretty strong structure. So Black might want to avoid this situation as well. So it's possible that white pushes pawn on the 6th file after this pawn push, but then Black just simply exchange pawns on the 6th file, and silver develops. And there is no way to kick this silver back immediately, because now this silver controls the 6th file for now. And now your camp is kind of dented, and you cannot drop a pawn right here. So this is not the best choice either. So all the way back to this position instead of this pawn push. 6 pawn 6-4 might be a good idea. By pushing this pawn proactively, you can protect this 6th file well. Now he develops this pawn, and gold develops and silver develops. And if in this position, even if he offers pawn exchange, you can just accept it and drop a pawn right here to kick this back. So this is fine. And then you can calmly push this pawn to take over the central rank. And he pushes this pawn on the second file, the bishop develops, and bishop develops. Then finally you can open up this diagonal. This is the first steps to form offensive formation. And if he develops right gold, this is a huge opportunity for white. Of course, white develops the silver. And it's obvious white is trying to break through this file, right? So it's natural to deploy this rook to the fourth file as well. Then what happens? White can simply offer pawn exchange on the central file. He takes it and white recaptures. It seems to be natural to drop a pawn right here to kick this back, but it's not gonna happen. Instead of moving back, white can simply take this. Amazing sacrifice, right? And no matter which pieces he uses to recapture the silver, it's going to be good for white because this pawn drop is great. Now this silver is dead, right? And if he recaptures, bishop recaptures. This pawn push seems to be a good defense, but there is no option for backing down. Instead, white can simply keep going by this pawn push. If black takes the bishop, pawn promotion, so it's really strong. Although white has just lost his bishop, he can just keep going because this promoted pawn is great because it's assisted by the rooks, so there is no way to stop it. So this is clearly good for white. Even if he takes this pawn, it's still going to be good for white. Rook recaptures. If he accepts it, so if he refuses it, you can just move to the side. Again, he will take this bishop, then you can promote your rook. This is also good for white because these major pieces are inactive and this dragon is so strong. This lance is hanging. This gold is also kind of hanging, and you get enough materials for harsh offense. So this is good for white as well. And all the way back to this position, instead of pawn drop, it's also possible that to play king 8-8 to castle. In this position, you can simply advance this gold to add more pressure on his castle right here. Still, black cannot drop a pawn right here for the same reason. So in this position, black's freedom is severely limited. So black has to do something a few moves back to this position. Black can also play rook 4-8 right here instead of developing this gold. And in this position, you can still offer the pawn exchange right here. But what if pawn push right here? This is going to be a big no-no because black's plan is to take over this vanguard position, right? To add more pressure on your king's head. And at least you should be able to complete silver crown before this pawn push, because he can just exchange pawns and silver recaptures, and you will have to drop a pawn right here, right? And he gets to keep a pawn in hand, so it's unfair for white. And if white does nothing, then he can drop a pawn right here, so it's going to be a huge weakness against white, so you have to avoid it. So the right movement here is to do nothing right here. Instead, you can still offer pawn exchange right here, and he can take it, and silver recaptures. And after this pawn drop, unlike previous variation, you have to step back, because silver sacrifice doesn't work this time, because he can simply take it. After this pawn drop, silver drops back, so you fail, right? So it's a good idea to move back to 4-4 to wait for your opponent to do something else. And if he plays king 8-8, and then you can do the same movement again. This time there is going to be a different story, because this movement is great. Now you are focusing on the central file, because now this square is a weakness. If he tries to protect this square by developing the gold, this pawn push is a secret move. This is amazing, and you will know why. He has no choice but to take it. Then Rook advances, and after this pawn drop, this counterattack is great, because even if he takes your rook, you can take your silver, right? And if he recaptures, this silver drop is great. And there is a few squares for this gold to go to, right? And if he moves forward with the gold, then left silver develops to attack this square. And you can also drop a pawn right here to attack this bishop, and once it's gone, this bishop is going to be looking at this king, so it's going to be pretty strong attack as well. And here it's also possible for black to play gold 7-8 to fortify his defense. And this time this pawn sack is great. What is this? No matter which way you take it, you can simply move to the side with your rook, and he has no choice but to drop this pawn to prevent this promotion. And then again, you can drop a pawn on 7-5 to take over this file. He has to move back, then you can take this pawn, and next knight 7-3 would be a great idea. Then you can push this pawn to look at these two pieces. Of course, he won't be able to take your pawn. Then you can go further to take over this square, so you will be better in this position. Alright, that's all for this video. Like I said, your biggest and only fear will be black's surveillance over your castle. But if you take proper steps, it will almost never come to fruition, and you are always the one who takes the initiative. As you already know, there are so many options for the ranging rook side, whereas black just has to be defensive. So nothing to be afraid of this strategy. And be confident from now on to show your strength. I hope you learned something, and thanks for watching, and see you all next time. Bye for now.